Welcome back to the channel, and for today's video we're going to be going over the stock Caesars Entertainment, ticker symbol CZR. This is a top stock pick for the whole week because we got big earnings coming out tomorrow night, and including big earnings that's coming out, we got a stock that is in prime buying position right now based on the chart and based on earnings coming out tomorrow night. So let's start it off with the stock chart itself. We're looking at the past basically 2 years here from the beginning of 2021 when it continued its run up to $120 all-time highs before quickly pulling back down into 2022, and ever since this pullback it has not done anything. It's been basically choppy, and as you can see here, I drew a upper resistance, a middle support, and then a lower support. And it really has been trading about 80% of the time in here, with a couple exceptions below falling to the lower support around $30. But this mid support around $40, which we're at right now today, is a prime spot where it bounced once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and now as we approach this area a 5th time, I am very intrigued to see what's going to happen here. Now, not only that, we have also the perfect storm, okay? We got the timing of it pulling off of the recent highs at resistance, pulling down to support, and the day before we have earnings. We have earnings tomorrow after hours at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and because of that, I love the odds of this stock bouncing from $40, running up throughout the day tomorrow to around 40, 45 area, and then having earnings. And as long as we report good earnings, which that's what they're expecting, that's what I'm hoping for, and also expecting based on some information, which I'll show you in a little bit, the stock can easily run to $50 plus. Now, the reason I say that is because over the past, year, basically, the stock has moved off of earnings. Most notably, here, when we released earnings, the stock jumped from $44 all the way up to about 53 area. And then here on earnings, when the stock was just pulling back off of a little low, and then bounced from 42 all the way up to 55. Here, the stock was a little choppy after earnings, so I'll give them that. And then the last earnings, when the stock had a huge pre-anticipatory run-up to earnings, and then earnings was released, and then the stock pulled back after. But the odds that the stock pulls back after is a lot slimmer now because the stock is already pulled back. So because people are looking at the stock price right now and seeing it is near the support area, it is pulled back, there's no run-up, there's no excitement going into these earnings. If earnings are even slightly better than expected, the stock will have a massive influx of people and volume and interest, which will cause the stock to run up. And honestly, looking at what we have with downside to upside, okay? Even if you take right now where we're at wrong tool here. Even if you take where we're at right now at this $40 area, which is support, pull it back down to where we were earlier in the week, yesterday, and the last week, really, $38 was where we were hitting, okay? So it's about a downside of 6%. Now, to the upside, though, if we continue to see where we have upside potential, we got it all the way up technically until this resistance area at $60, which is 47% of upside, okay? That is massive for this stock right now. But I'm not going to say that the stock can just run up to 40% tomorrow because of earnings, but it definitely has the chance to break out of this funk that it's been for the past 2 to 3 months and have a little bit of an uptrend here. I think that tomorrow we have some momentum in the morning and in the early afternoon hours leading up to earnings, could get us back to $43, $44 area. And if we have good earnings, this thing I believe will take off on Wednesday or market open on the 1st, the day after earnings. I think it could really take off closer to 50, 55 area. Now, the reason I think of this is because of what kind of information we have here. So Caesars is set to give its latest quarterly earnings tomorrow, Tuesday the 31st, and it'll be happening tomorrow afternoon around 4 o'clock. Analysts estimate that Caesars Entertainment will report an earnings per share EPS of 28 cents. Now, obviously, the bulls are hoping to hear that not only they beat the estimate, but they also prove positive guidance or forecasted growth for the next quarter, which really will take this stock into that post run-up, that post people of the post volume, I should say, of people jumping in on this stock. That's what we really want this stock to go through, as people will start jumping on and figuring out, while they reported good earnings, the stock is at a cheap price. It has potential in the short term over the next several weeks to really have a nice run up. So last quarter, they beat their earnings per share by $3.93, which was massive, but there was so much run up that the stock fell the following day 4.25%. So over the past couple quarters, you can see 2022 and of quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2022, estimates were 14 cents minus 17 cents, nothing crazy. But they reported a little bit better than estimates besides in quarter 4, and then quarter 1 of 2023, really bad actual report compared to what the estimate was. But quarter 2 of this past year, we reported $4.26 a share with the estimate of 33 cents. So now we do have a lower estimate this quarter of 28 cents, but based on how the stock performs when beating, the stock tends to do very well. So now we just basically, at the price point we're at right now and where the stock is trading on this chart, we just have to hit the estimate or better. We don't have to blow these earnings out of the water, but we do have to at least hit the estimate to at least stay afloat and have at least some sort of post run up for this stock, okay? The stock right now is holding around that support area, and it tends to bounce in this support area. As you can see, multiple times in this area, we've seen it bounce, and that's what we're gonna be working with. So here's the game plan, and this is what we're gonna be doing over the next couple days. Tomorrow, let's watch the stock. I'm gonna take an entry probably around $40, $41, so depending on where it opens tomorrow. Today it was up about 2.5%, so let's also keep that in mind. But nevertheless, let's look at the stock entry for $40 to $42. If we can get an entry around there, we set a stop loss. Our first stop loss would be at $38, which would be where that most previous low was just a couple days ago, okay? And from there, we put a stop loss at 38, and then we look at our next area, which would be probably closer to 34, 35, based on what we saw back here. Sorry, I gotta scroll over. Based on where we saw back here, where we've previously dropped. But most likely what's going to happen is we take an entry, we got two stop losses, one at 38 and one at 35, and then we look to the upside and we start to take some off closer to this 45 area where it seems to be some resistance, which is 10%, and then we take some more off at 47, and if we get to 50, we take some more off. But I'm playing this over the next several weeks, so if it does jump up tomorrow to 53, 55 area, I may take most of it. I may take 70 to 80% of all my shares that I'm going to put in, but let's play this as a game plan out for the longer term over the next several weeks. Let's play a little more, conservative and let it run up, let it pull back, let it run up, let it pull back, such as here where it bounced off of 40, right? Bounced off this 40 area, ran up. Now, if I took everything off here, I'd be losing on the amount up here. So take some off here, let it pull back, set a stop loss down here so at least you don't lose any money in this trade. Doesn't touch a stop loss, so it continues to run up. Take some more when it breaks over that previous high, so we would take more off here. Let it pull back a little bit, make another big run up, take some more out, and then let it continue to run up until you hit close to this resistance at 60, or you get to a price point where you're happy with the gains. And at this point, this would be a little bit longer of a trade because it would have been from June to almost August, end of July. So that would have been about a month and a half leading up to earnings. Here, I'm looking over the next several weeks to close to a month, so we'll see how long I want this money to be held up in Caesars. But for the short-term swing trade type of deal, Caesars Entertainment is the stock I'm watching. Guys, do your own research and due diligence before jumping into this play, but I think that this is a good opportunity for us here in the short-term swing trading section. Caesars Entertainment, ticker symbol CZR. Let me know what you guys think about the stock in the comments below. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.